Welcome to the Bitcoin Business Podcast put on by Sovereign. I'm your host, Brandon Karpolis. And today we have a very unique episode. I'm actually wearing like nice adult clothes, so that's a first. Two, we're going to be doing an actual sample of the product of the individual I am interviewing today. And I've never had it. I'm really looking forward to it. So we're going to do live taste test and discuss. I'm not sure how it's going to go. I'm not sure if I'm going to have like too much food in my mouth or be too happy or whatever to properly do it, but we'll find out. So who knows? Could be a cool thing. I'm really looking forward to it. So without further ado, joining me today is Alessandro from Sats Oil, and he makes extra virgin, I assume it's extra virgin, olive oil on his farm or family estate. I'm not sure necessarily how you refer to olive orchards, but out in Italy. And so we're going to get into his story and how he started that, what he's doing, and then we're going to try some of this olive oil on some delicious items I have prepared here, and we'll go from there. So welcome, Alessandro.
Hi everyone. Thank you very much, Brandon, for inviting me. And as I said already, a little nervous. It's my first time for a podcast, but I'll do my best to make myself understood. So I'll do my best. With my English is long time I don't practice and I don't speak it, so it would be nice for me as well to
Sounds
do.
very good and polished to me. So, and I know we've communicated over text as well, and your English is just fine. I know all you Europeans are a little skittish about your English, but you speak it much better than we speak another language. So, uh, no one's going to fault you. So, with that, I have here. So I know Alessandro, you recommended I eat this with some bread, and I know there's differing views on should you use salted bread, unsalted bread, depending on where you're from in Italy. That being said, I don't eat bread. I don't eat grains. I don't eat sugars.
Okay.
The only thing I really have is dry natural wines, and we talked about that. So I prepared. I have a, let's see if I can get it to the camera here. I have a prosciutto cotto
Yeah.
from Italy plate here with some soft French cheese. And so I know that might be sacrilege, but
It's
I
not
was
at all.
debating
It's not
I
at
was
all.
debating whether or not to go with the Parmesan, but the Parmesan's raw milk Parmesan from a farm here in the U.S. anyways. So it was kind of like, it's not going to be from Italy anyways, even if the type of cheese is from Italy. So I'm going
Actually, the best way
going
to
with
test it is like in a teaspoon. That's all.
yes. Okay, and then I have classic tomato, heirloom tomato, some buffalo mozzarella, and I just dripped that all
Oh,
over my
man.
leg. Awesome. Already off to a rip roaring start here.
That's a
And some
great way to test it.
and some pesto from Italy, actually, that we
All
had
right.
delivered here from there. So, and then obviously here we have the magical ingredient, the olive oil. So
Mhm.
I'm going to take another first. I'm going to take these glasses off because I found that using the blue light glasses to eat, it messes with your senses. It's kind of weird. I don't know the science behind it, but I've certainly noticed that I almost get like a dulled taste of things if I wear these glasses and eat them. So I'm going to take these off, turn the brightness down a little bit here. And so as you can see, beautiful, beautiful color here. And so Alessandro, maybe why
As
don't
you
you
can
describe
see, the olive oil
yeah,
is so fresh that is not that crystal clear because the particles, the cells, just have to go slow in a couple of months, and that's why you will test it still a little spicy. For the
awesome.
first 2 3 months will be lightly spicy.
So I'm gonna go just give a little finger taste here. I spilled a little bit earlier. I told Alessandro this, and I had to refrain from cleaning it up with my finger and tasting it. So, oh wow, that's really good. Yep, a little, yeah, takes a second, and then you get a little zip on there. So,
Yeah, it's not like spicy like of pepper.
no, no, yeah,
It's
it's like peppery.
spicy
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
So what I can
Nice.
say is like I'm not here to say my olive oil is like the best olive oil in Italy. It's not that the point. The point is that
Maybe it is though. Could be.
yeah, actually a friend of mine who produce olive oil in the same area of mine, he sell it in England, and his olive oil has been recognized like one of the best of Sicily for something like the first. But there are too many competitions around that, so I'm not here to say he's the best. But I'm here just to say there are so many producers in Italy, and small families like mine, because we're not a company or or anything like that. We just make it for ourselves, and the extra ones we we've always sold it for in change, of course, for fiat to friends, colleagues, or friends of friends, and everyone told me in the past years like your olive oil is amazing, man. I knew that already, but until someone don't tell you, it's just good. But everyone were so much surprised about the quality that in my mind was always going on the idea of doing the things better. So trying to sell it to more people in the proper way. But I didn't do that path because I started already to decide I have to sell Bitcoin only. And that was the thing that came up in my mind in July. Um, so just a little background. I'm in Bitcoin only since 1 year, and I started so like December last year. It was my first birthday of Bitcoin this year, and so the first 6 months, you get in. Uh, it's like a circus, too many things around. You try to figure it out. What is this? What is that? Why? So many questions, and listen a lot of podcasts because I drive a lot for my job, and so it's the perfect way to learn. I read only two books, and instead of reading, I listen, and so I deep dive very much that in July I realized that I didn't have any more money to stack sets. So I say, okay, I want to stack more sets. So in November, December, I will have, as always, my olive oil to sell in exchange of money. And I say, you know what? I will accept only Bitcoin this year.
Love it. I hear that story a lot of people going, okay, I've understood. Like, congratulations, by the way, a year, and you're pretty well convicted, pretty well read from my conversations with you on Bitcoin. And I won't give away some secrets, but there's some other stuff that comes with your orders that certainly should be intriguing to everyone out there. That clearly demonstrates your knowledge and understanding of Bitcoin. So I really applaud you for being only a year in your Bitcoin journey and being quite far down. You must have spent a lot of time in the car. So um, I I applaud you for that. But I
Thank you.
to that point, I hearing that over and over that okay, I've kind of come to the end of the rope of my savings account. I don't have any more money, any more fiat per se. And how do I get more Bitcoin? Like, what could I sell for Bitcoin? And we've had multiple people come on here and say that same story that I just wanted to make something great and exchange it for the hardest money on the planet. And so I love that. I love
Yeah, and actually, I'm doing like one thing that I love, which is to give something really genuine and that my family produce. And as the other guys say, like Ben for the wine, Hashi, and Ghee for the butter, they always say like Bitcoiners are very, what to say, they're ready to do not be scammed, so they're very interested in getting the best quality because they don't give the sats away very easily. And so I'm sure that I ask sats in change for my vote, but it will be a good exchange. That
well, okay. With that, let's let's dive in here. I'm going to eat this first piece of prosciutto, some cheese covered in some olive oil here. Yeah, that's that's really good. Um,
Try to put
well,
on the
um,
prosciutto the oregano that I get you.
oh yeah,
Man,
I
I put
crap.
it like everywhere.
Okay,
I put at the top of it everywhere of anything.
I did forget to get. Okay, so yeah, so that oregano you sent me, that's just oregano. It's not like a blend. I couldn't tell.
Can you say again because I didn't hear you properly?
Sorry. So the oregano, yeah, maybe part of the problem with having food in my mouth.
No, no, just
So
the connection.
the blend you sent, it's only oregano. It's not a mixture of herbs and
No,
spices.
no,
It's
absolutely. It's only olive oil.
only oregano. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't
So
sure.
the oregano one. No, no, it's only oregano.
Okay.
Not a mix of herbs. No, absolutely. It's picked in the area where my dad lived. So we dry it every year, but we make more than we can consume it. That's why I put it on the top of everything. Like melted cheese is perfect for that. Salads or what else? I put it on pizzas. It's my favorite ingredient.
We're making a salad tomorrow for Christmas Day. We're doing a prime rib as well, so
All right.
we'll make sure to um, we'll make sure to put some of that on there. And you wouldn't recommend cooking with this olive. I mean, I listen. I just got back from Italy in September, and we went actually in 2023 as well. We did some wine and olive oil tastings, and I'm not
Nice.
gonna lie,
Where were you?
this is we were in Florence where we did the wine and um, olive oil tastings, but
Okay.
we went to Rome as well. And last time we were out here, we went to Rome, Sorrento, or out there rather, Rome, Sorrento,
Great area.
Florence, Venice, Lake Maggiore, and Milan. We spent 3 weeks out there. It was a absolutely wonderful trip. So,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't recommend because this olive oil truly is incredible. But
Mhm.
we've done some tastings out in Santa Barbara. I have some family out there.
Yeah.
They grow olive oil out there too. This is legitimately some of the best olive oil I've had. So you wouldn't recommend cooking with this, would you?
Actually, it's not. You know, you can cook with that as well. It's actually much better than the other with other olives oil because it burns at the right temperature, which must be like 150 degrees. So you know what? You can cook with that, but you have to use less than usual.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
it. I cook every day with that. It's the only olive oil I use. I don't spend, of course, money for other olive oils. My friends who buy me the olive oil, they just say, "No, I keep your just raw. I use it for salads. I use it for other things, but I don't waste it for cooking." But uh, it's because they don't have enough.
So in the true Italian spirit, I made myself an espresso before this as well. So
I actually had
uh,
today the coffee that I bought from Satoshi Coffee,
mhm.
and that was really good. I already texted him that was great.
So are you making espresso out of that? Because I know you Italians are I you can't find drip coffee anywhere in Italy. So are you doing drip coffee or are you going just straight espresso?
I go straight espresso, and
Okay.
during in the morning I drink the coffee from the mocha, so from the
Okay.
coffee
Okay.
machine.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the bar I just drink straight espresso, no milk,
Okay.
no sugar, nothing.
Yeah, when I was on that 3 week trip in Italy, I couldn't find drip coffee anywhere. I would get, and I love espresso. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love espresso. But I usually like to have drip coffee in the morning, and then espresso in the afternoon. And so for breakfast, I would always get an Americano, kind of the closest thing. And then finally, the last day of our trip, 3 weeks in, we were meeting some friends on Lake Como, going on a boat ride out there, and found some shop that had it said American drip coffee, and I was like, oh my gosh, finally. So
Actually, I live in a
it was
city
okay.
which
Yeah.
is called Trieste, which is at the northeast. of Italy, at the
Yes.
border with Slovenia and Croatia. And here was born, and it's actually still here, Illy Coffee.
Oh yeah, yeah, sure.
So
Yeah,
it's a
ILLY.
city for
Yeah,
coffee, this one.
yeah, yeah. We my mother-in-law is a big fan of the Ely coffee. She used to get us the espresso all the time, but we we graduated to whole bean only, and then my wife's she's gotten so crazy with the espresso we buy. She's uh, these unique special growers that are regenerative farming, and with
Actually, probably you have more culture of coffee you than other people that I know. Because here, the people drink espresso, they, they of course pretend and that's the best coffee that they can do, but it's not like this. I mean, I drank coffee in Australia so good, in not in England, but in Australia the coffee was amazing. So I cannot even complain about it. Anyway, talking about coffee, white wine.
yeah, I mean there's lots of so much good stuff everywhere. I went to Austria and I was blown away by how good the wine was there.
Oh yeah,
And now I get
the
I go
Riesling.
into well, the Riesling, and then they have the Gruner
Yeah,
Veltlin,
the
Gruner
one.
the that grape, and then the Zweigelt. I
Mhm.
found I absolutely fell in love with that grape. So yeah, it's just you go to these
Many times the
places.
Riesling are like natural wines made like. So if you say natural, you're a fan of natural wines.
Yeah, that's kind of what started me down that. The Austrians have very strict rules,
Hmm.
similar to like the DOCG process in Italy and stuff as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, I do know these things because I studied for a while in a course of wine like sommelier.
oh wow,
Um, yeah, so I used to work. My background is hospitality.
what yeah,
I used
what happened there? So yeah, why don't you let's get into this. So let's start with your background and how you became what you're doing now, and then how Bitcoin came into your life, and
Okay. So my
yeah,
background,
I'm gonna eat by the way
I
when I
was
tell
born
this
in
story.
Sicily. I do very yeah, yeah, go ahead. I do quite fast. So I was born in Sicily. When I was 8, I moved up north with my parents. And so we were supposed to stay here for a couple of years, and then we stayed here like more than 20. Um, so my parents now back home for their retirement, but I obviously stayed here because of work, because when you grew up in a place, your friends are here, all the rest of your family are here. Meanwhile, when I was 15, I started the school, hospitality school, which gave me the chance, like let's say, to work early, to travel early. So I was 17, that I was already in England. Then on 21, I was in Australia. Then back home, and I started to appreciate the place where I live much more than before leaving. Um, so I used to work in hospitality all my life, like 15 years. And then I was like too tired of doing that because there are no shift time, or you work so many hours for at least mm, the I have to say it. I was looking for something, the meritocracy. Is that fine? The word? Okay.
Socratic
Yeah,
or
meritocratic.
yeah,
So I think I was doing a good job, but the wage was always the same. And actually, I was like assistant manager in a Michelin restaurant. So the food, the drinks, everything what I liked and what I still like. Just I didn't want to work there anymore, and so I quit. I changed life. Now I actually, for my first job, so it is not a first job yet, but yeah, actually it was born like a joke, but it's going good. But
I don't think. Well, it's definitely the quality of the stuff is definitely not a joke. I mean, it's really, really good. And
yeah, it's definitely
I'm
not.
not just I'm not just saying that because you're on here. I mean, like I said, I've tasted a lot of olive oils from Italy, fresh this year, and I mean, this is this is better than any of them. So
Okay, thank you, Brandon. And so now I'm actually working as a seller for a company, a small company. We're like four friends, and we sell stuff to like hairdressers, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. So that's why I say meritocratic, because if you do good, you
I,
earn good, and that's all. And also because I wanted to change my job, because during the evening I couldn't go at school with my work in a restaurant, and I wanted to complete the college, because when I was 15, I did 3 years of hospitality school, which gave me a lot, but I didn't even have a diploma, so an high school license, you know. So I wanted to complete, and 3 years ago, I started the school during the evening, during the night. So in the morning, I used to work. In the evening, I went to school, and actually gave me a lot of things. Like I'm very grateful to make the choice to come back at school, because it's different, you know, Brandon. When you go and you're already 30 years old, instead of when you're 15, you just want to start your life away from everything, from the adults and everything. So during these years at school, this I don't know, is there a name to say the school of night, during night in
it's
English?
yeah, night school.
Night
Yeah,
school. Okay.
yeah,
Sometimes English is
yeah.
simpler than how we expect.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
So at that time, there was this friend, this mate, classmate, who was always talking about to everyone about Bitcoin, and Bitcoin and the asset and the grow and the percentage and everything. But no one listened to him, because he didn't touch the points that probably to me didn't attract me. And so like 2 3 years went. And last year I was listening to a podcast of this guy like I used to follow already. And when he touched the Bitcoin topic, I was like, oh my God. So it's these, it's not only numbers and things like that, you know? And I started to go deeper and listen more podcasts, until I arrived in a one, which is um, an Italian podcast. They explained about the historical and the philosophy of the historical part of Bitcoin. So they started the story of Bitcoin like in the doing not from the 71, but from the 33. So they started all the points, and I'm fan of history, and that caught me so much. And then I started to say, okay, you know what? I stuck some, then I stuck some more, and then I stuck some more. Around July, I say, okay, I want to stack some more. But also the philosophy. At the beginning was only modeling, but it didn't it didn't find in me that one thing like, okay, I wait, and one day what? I want to spend it. It was born to spend it. So when I realized that if you just replace it, you don't lose any value, like for pizzas
yeah.
in so it's so easy and simple to understand. But during this year, I didn't want to talk to anyone about Bitcoin. No one except obviously my girlfriend and a couple just of friends, very close. So I didn't open myself to no one. No one knew that I used to stack Bitcoins. Now I'm just saying to someone slowly, because I'm more confident to explain. I'm more confident that what I say is actually true. And that, that's my back.
That's I mean, I was the same way that when I first got into Bitcoin, I think the best decision I ever made was not actually getting a Twitter account and just back when you could actually look at Twitter accounts without having to, you know, do a retinal scan and give your blood type and all this nonsense. I would just peruse Twitter accounts, people talking about this stuff, and I actually learned a lot that way. But I guarantee if I had an account, I would have said some absolutely retarded nonsense that I
Yeah,
would have
absolutely.
been
Yeah.
very ashamed to have looked back upon and been like, "Oh my gosh, what was I doing? That was so
Man,
dumb."
I
So
have the Twitter account, but I just log in like once or twice a week. But just to check if someone texts me for sets oil, I much more prefer to stay on Primal. Like
Noster is the best. Yep.
Monster is the best. Yeah, also because the philosophy you have your keys, no one Israel is decentralized, so it just gas the same part of Bitcoin. So and also
And
the community, it makes you
oh,
feel like so welcome instead of all the rest that you know that it's on Twitter.
well, also on Master, and a big part of what we're trying to do here at Sovereign is expose people to people like you that, hey, you can have a decentralized. I talked about this a couple podcasts ago with Eric, who's founding Conduit Market, um, Eric FJ on Noster, that we can have a decentralized market and decentralized money. It's just going to require merchants getting there that want to accept Bitcoin and then customers that are willing to pay in Bitcoin. And as far as I can tell, half the people on Bitcoin Twitter don't even know how to use Lightning. And I don't know if they've ever spent any Bitcoin in their entire life. It's yeah, spend the bad money, save the good, and it's like you're an idiot because if you're spending the bad money, that's just Bitcoin you didn't have. So you've completely missed finance 101. So like you're you're long the dollar, short Bitcoin for whatever you're spending your
It's
dollars on.
actually also the
You're
best
yes,
way to spread the idea of Bitcoin. Like, I,
of course.
I
Yeah,
obviously I cannot find many places here where to spend, but just for joke, I ask sometimes. No, I mean not every time, but sometimes I just ask before paying. Can I pay in Bitcoin? Many
I
times they look at me like, what's that? Or no, of course no. Like if I'm an alien, but it's funny. I like it. And then sometimes I mean, I'm doing this since 2 months now. 2 months now. And
just
actually, a couple of them, they ask me for my phone number because they want to know more. So it's the best way to spread the idea.
exactly. That's I'm just keep doing it, man. I've been doing that for 5 years.
Mm.
And 4 or 5 years ago, people looked at me like I had a third head, and they were just, you're insane." But now people actually start engaging me. Some of them are like, "No, how would I do that?" And to your point, some people I've set up right there. I've showed them how to do it, showed them how to
Yeah.
accept Bitcoin. Other
Actually,
people have,
now, sorry.
yeah,
In the States now you have Square, so like
yep, oh yeah, yeah,
you're like 15 years, how to say, older than us. Like we still have to
ahead, yeah,
have a wallet of Satoshi if someone wants to.
yeah. I mean, and listen, any of that is great as well. I personally like to set people up on a Moon wallet, and because then I don't have to explain the difference between Lightning and on chain, and I know that they're going to be in self custody. They'll be able to custody their own coins. But listen, I getting someone their first touch point. Back to your point, just asking someone if they accept Bitcoin. The value in that is you may have given that person their first touch point, or maybe it's their second touch point, or maybe it's their third. But it takes, I heard someone joke, it takes 21 touch points before someone gets Bitcoin. So, yeah, who knows what the real number is, the actual number, but it's some high number of, touch points with Bitcoin. And if you can be one of those touch points and get that person, that person may not accept Bitcoin for 3 years, but maybe they accept it in 3 years instead of five. And because you put the seed in their head now, someone else talked to them later. So even if you think nothing's happening, even if you get laughed at, even if you get derided, it's not gonna. You don't know what that seed could germinate in the future, and so
Absolutely. That's why
just
I
yeah,
love the
you know,
interviews, like on the streets, people asking to other people, what do you think about Bitcoin? Like that. That's the seed in the mind, and that's quite
exactly. And then
funny
it's
also as well.
yeah. And my favorite are the ones where they're like, "Would you rather have a Bitcoin or $100 bill?" Give me the $100 bill. It's just insane. But anyways, yeah. To that point, circling back to sort of the Noster ecosystem, and specifically at Sovereign, what we're trying to do is get businesses to start accepting Bitcoin, start storing Bitcoin on their balance sheet, not only for protection against inflation, holding a better money, excuse me, bolstering your balance sheet as a company, but to also further the medium of exchange part of this, because that, in my opinion, is going to, well, first of all, if you're a business, you should have the ability to accept Bitcoin because you should be getting a better money. There's all sorts of benefits to accepting Bitcoin. You hold your own keys, you have sovereignty, you're not beholden to a bank, you can send the money instantly. All these great things about Bitcoin that are native to the protocol and to the money itself. But at the same time, you are you're furthering adoption, because you as a merchant, if you say, hey, I accept Bitcoin or I only accept Bitcoin, in many cases people are going to come in, at the very least they'll see the Bitcoin sign and say, what it, oh, I could pay with Visa, or what's this other option, or like these Square terminals now, when you check out and people even see Bitcoin as these businesses, as these customers start to want and start to give Bitcoin, or pay in Bitcoin. I don't want to say give Bitcoin because it's not a gift. To pay in Bitcoin for products and services, that's really how you grow the adoption. The stuff that's going on now, Wall Street buying Bitcoin and these institutions, like, great, that was always going to happen. I mean, people aren't idiots. They're going to figure out there's a better money out there. I should probably get some of it. Like, this was inevitable. But to really start scaling up that adoption curve to where it's 8 billion people are using it, it's going to have to be the merchant customer relationship, because there's only so much Bitcoin that's just going to go sit in some pension fund, sit on MicroStrategy's balance sheet, et cetera, et cetera. Like, it really, the real value is going to come from people needing it to buy goods and services. Or I shouldn't say the real value, but the real adoption, the adoption curve growth is going to come with this merchant customer relationship.
Actually, Bitcoin could be also our marketing strategy for attract people who wants to spend Bitcoin. So if you just have 100 customers, you can say, I accept also Bitcoin. You get at least other 10 customers that probably before they didn't come to you. So it could be also you seen also in this way, an extra way to receive. And another thing that makes me always think uh, is also like I make you an example. Like I started now to sell olive oil, and the moment when I had to pay for the courier for the shipping, I say to the guy, um, which I found on internet, so it wasn't a friend of mine or no one. It would just look after the shipment and assist me for anything that can happen, so I don't have to call FedEx or DHL, any like everyone. So I just speak with him and he look after everything, and that's perfect because when like the courier just pass by my parents' house, so they don't have to bring the boxes to collect, you know. So anyway, I just asked to the guy, can you accept Bitcoin for the shipper? The first time he said no, I don't know how to manage. Actually, I do know something about crypto, so I thought, okay, he probably knows. But I realized that he just didn't know enough. So I sent him something like, okay, you can get info about how your balance sheet can managed about with Bitcoin. So he probably read them because the second time he called me back and he said, you know what, I would accept Bitcoin for your deliveries, your shipments. So the first probably one I orange pill is him.
So,
So I'm very happy for that because people just pay me. I move the money to him. I don't have to cash out or things boring like that.
and that's we really encourage that at Sovereign too, with the businesses we work with. hey, are you talking to your vendors? Are you asking them, can I pay you in Bitcoin? And probably 99% of the time they're going to say no. But again, now you could be that first touch point, the second touch point, the third
Mhm.
touch point, and also maybe one day they'll, who knows if we get an actual real bull market here and Bitcoin hits some crazy number, maybe they reach back out. And unfortunately, a lot of the way people get in is they see the number screaming up and then they say, I should learn about this. And then they finally reach out. So
Yeah, it's pretty
maybe
much
you're
all the
just,
time like that. Mhm.
yeah, exactly. Everyone got in at whatever
Yeah,
cycle
me
time.
too.
Whenever you
Last
got
year,
in,
last
yeah,
year it was Trump for when he went elected, and
yeah,
it was
yeah.
on the newspaper, and so I got probably that information not because I was looking for that, but because it arrived me.
Right. Right. Exactly. And that's how many people, unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately because it's good that people are getting in. And let's be honest, that is a big value proposition of Bitcoin is that it increases your purchasing power over time. And to pretend like it's not as stupid, it can be a medium of exchange, a way to operate outside the system and have peer-to-peer payments, but also increase your purchasing power. It's allowed to do both. So, and it's unfortunately a part of human nature that the increase in the purchasing power is a much stronger magnet than sort of the ability to operate out of the system. And I think it's foolish for Bitcoiners to pretend like that doesn't exist or someone's not passing a purity test if they get in through that way or people are encouraging others to get in that way. But there's all sorts of benefits to Bitcoin, which is why it's awesome and which is
I think
massive.
Bitcoin is
Yeah.
awesome also because for people who are like very curious, just give you so many informations that you learn every day. So the price is just probably the thing that pique you, uh,
Mhm.
but all the rest you can die and you can how to say go deeper and deeper in the rabbit hole that you still learn after years, I guess.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you think I realized that like 1 month ago that is not that is digital cash, electronic cash. So I don't know how to explain that, but it changed everything. When you want to pay cash or you want to pay electronic cash, it's not the same that you pay by card.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's credit. You're paying with credit. So
mm-mm,
you're yeah, when someone gives you a good and you pull out your piece of plastic, your credit card, not your debit card, and you pay with that, you're saying there's an organization that's vouching for me that will pay you this and their word is good for it. You should accept the fact that they're going to make good on this promise. And then that organization is saying, okay, you customer, now you owe me money. Now you have to make good on this. So now I have a credit with you. And that whole system, as opposed to paying with Bitcoin or even physical cash, where it's just final settlement right there, that I sent you the money. No one owes anyone anything. That's it. That's done. That's the end of the transaction. And that may seem like a trivial fact, but it's just because we've abstracted so far from first principles and all these people trying to wet their beak and be middlemen and intermediaries and charge you for a service that you really shouldn't charge people for. It's preposterous that there's a
crazy.
cost. Yeah, that there's a cost to spend your money with someone else, and it's wild. Now you can take physical cash and pay the person, and there isn't that cost. You're not
Yeah,
availing yourself of the
that's
service.
why. That's
Fine.
why is it,
Yeah. Yeah.
we do not consider that fact so often. But credit card just cost you. So why don't you use cash or electronic cash? So I think I'll put it that way for some merchants that I will meet. I will meet.
100%. And yeah, you see it all the time now. I'm seeing it more and more with merchants coming out and saying 3% discount for paying in cash or 2% discount, pay with a debit card instead of a credit card. And
Yeah,
so
crazy. Now
it,
here could
yeah.
be thousand and thousand of euros, dollars, or anything.
Oh yeah, depending on how much business you're doing, that's a significant amount. I mean, I think I said this on the last podcast I was on, but the gas stations have been doing this forever because they don't operate. The margins not on the gasoline, all the margins on the convenience store that people come in and buy waters and chips and all sorts of crap, and that's where they make their money. They don't make any money on the gasoline.
Of
The
course.
gasoline is like a lure to get you there, and then hopefully you buy something inside. And so they're operating on basically 0% margins, and they can't afford a credit card fee. And so they have a cash discount, or rather a credit premium for their margins. And there's just, uh, and let's be honest, most of these merchants are just passing the credit premium on to you as the consumer, and they just hide it in the cost of the good that should be 3% less. So yeah. So are you you're in Sicily now, right? That's where you're growing these
Actually,
olives in.
my family are in
Yes.
Sicily, and I'm in Friuli, Venezia Giulia, which is the right opposite part of Sicily, so north.
Okay, but these where are the olives being grown and processed?
Sicily.
Sicily. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
my father look after them, and with my brother, and so I was like helping them a few months ago just to start picking. But of course, I just went there for a weekend, like 5 days at least, and it was quite rainy, so we did as much as we could. But there is a lot of work behind. That's why I wanted to say proof of test, proof of work, because it's not just looking after the trees, but then you have to, of course, pick it, and then you have to press. We do the cold press, so I wanted to play with this word, so cold press and cold storage
Yeah.
with olive oil. So
Love
I
it.
it started with like I want to sell olive oil in exchange of Bitcoin. After my mind started to create so many things that I couldn't really believe, so many points that olive oil is connected with with these. I really couldn't believe. A couple of nights I really couldn't sleep because I couldn't stop my mind, and that's nice because I'm realizing even more how creative I can be, and I can do it here. So it's nice. It's
Yeah.
fun.
For people that don't know, harvesting olive oil is all done by hand. And so there are no machines that come out there. They basically have a big catcher on the ground, and then they got to go through and separate the leaves from the olives. And that is done with machines. And then the pressing is done with machines. But getting the actual olives off the tree is a hand done process.
Oh
And
yeah, absolutely.
so there's tons of proof of work in there. And so it's I love the comparison. I love the connection. Harvesting olive oil is definitely no joke. So are your parents because it is your parents' estate, right? Or
My
am
parents
I
what?
estate where the olives are on, or the land where the olives are on?
Actually, no, they live in a village, and the trees are just around an area around the village. So
Oh, so is it
in
kind of like,
actually three different places.
okay? So is it communal rights to the trees, or how does that work?
Yes, again.
Is it like communal rights to the trees, or how are you allowed to go pick from these trees, or do you pay for a
Yeah,
certain
it's
amount of trees? How
ours.
does that work?
They're ours.
Oh,
They're
they are
ours.
your trees.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay.
It's like 140 trees, which is
Okay.
a good number for a family olive
Okay.
oil. So
But they are your family's trees, right?
yes, exactly.
Okay. So how are they with accepting, their harvest? Are they okay with getting Bitcoin
Oh
for olive
yeah,
oil?
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. It was fine and nice when I went to Sicily, as I said, a couple of months ago. When I arrived, my sister just came to pick me at the airport, So when we got in the car, after a while, I said, you know what? This year we will sell the olive oil in exchange of Bitcoin. She was looking at me like, what's that? And so her husband just probably, as you said, the touch points. He's a farmer, so he looks after not only olives or but also peaches, oranges, and he has a mind that as a how to say um as an entrepreneur. So he said to me, "Can you explain me better this Bitcoin? Because it's so many times I heard about it." So I tried to
Awesome.
explain as much as I could on the car, and also, you know what? When you try to explain Bitcoin, I think you cannot just go 100K as an hour and push all the information you have. Otherwise, you just get confused with people. So I like to start not with him, but with other people to just simply asking one question and say them to answer me with like a child would answer. What's money? Just people just say, what do you money? Yeah, money is this money. So everything starts like this. So I just say Bitcoin is money, same as euro and dollars, whatever. Just they now lose value during the time. And then I can tell you many more things. And basically, it depends what they ask me, I answer. That's my so pretty much I first of all get curiosity and then I answer. Anyway, but let's go on. Let's move on. And
No,
then we
no,
have
I love it. It's a great question. I ask people that all the time, and 90% of the time, people have no idea what money is. They're like, well, it's the
yeah,
paper things
it's
in
so
my
obvious
pocket, or
money
the
for us, but it's not at all.
yeah, no,
Then
yeah,
when I arrived home, so my father, my mother, my brother, my niece, and so I explained everyone like this year I just say don't sell all the olive oil to the place who press the olives because sometimes we keep uh, an amount for us, all the rest stays there. So I said this year don't give them anything. I will buy it. So I bought it. I mean, my father
okay,
didn't want anything, but I gave him anyway because he all the time just say no, but I know he deserved it, but he needs it. So I just paid it. So I prepare all the setup to to sell it. So the graphic, my friend to pay the cans, the things, the printing. So anything, I worked with everything just before arriving in Sicily. So it was everything ready. They couldn't just say no. I said, okay, I made it. Okay, but probably they trust me, so they didn't all say no because they probably trust me. So I say, okay, let's just try it. My sister says, so if it's like this, and Bitcoin values um, increase, we shouldn't if we have Bitcoin, we shouldn't sell it. I say, let's say yes, but you can spend it and replace it. So yes. So she understood right away what's Bitcoin could be. My father just said, okay, just go. If it works, okay. My father and my brother, at the beginning, it seems like understood. After that, it seems even more confused because
boy,
he also look after the preparing the boxes to send. So he was, I don't know what you're doing, but I trust you and just you will explain me better one day. Yeah, I will.
yeah,
My
yeah.
niece
You'll
is 19. She understood like right away. But she was like, man, uncle. So it's so interesting this thing. So she's keep asking me information. I keep sending her podcasts and like a few days ago she asked me, so Ale, have you orange pilled me? I say yes, I do.
love it. I love it. I just watched a show on Netflix called The Leopard or Gatto Pardo. Have you heard about this show?
Yeah, I heard about the show. I didn't
Okay.
see it, but someone told me it's really nice.
Yeah, it actually is really good. it's just season one, so it's sort of the beginning of the unification of Italy
Mhm.
and
The end of
Garibaldi and his
18th century, it was.
yeah, yeah. I think it was like 1860s, I want to
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
So
about the
maybe
unification. Yeah.
yeah. So and it's on the island of Sicily and it's the, you know, Prince of Sicily, and so I it kind of got me going down a little bit of a rabbit hole on and I knew forever. I live in Chicago. We have a ton of Italians here, and I knew forever the Sicilians. They don't consider themselves Italian. They consider themselves Sicilian,
It's
and
like two different countries, but
yeah,
not only
it's
Sicily, South in general.
yeah, oh yeah. Well, then I mean that's what I noticed too when I went out there is
Sorrento,
even in Florence, the
Fiorentino,
Florentines, they all consider themselves
Fiorentini.
part of
Yeah,
Florence. Yeah, and same with Venice, they consider themselves Venetians, and it's even like 150, 160 years later or whatever, they still consider themselves more um, based on their region and where they're from than an
yeah,
actual.
yeah. Man.
Yeah.
It's actually the nicest thing in Italy, I think, this one, because Italy it wasn't unified, as you said, until 1861. So
Yeah.
before it was always different states. No, I don't know if you do remember history, but so many states. And
Hmm.
so the traditions were so strong that they recognize much more. We recognize much more in the region, in the state earlier. And actually, Sicily is a very strange place for that because all the kind of people pass through Sicily. So French, Spanish, Swedish. So that's crazy. Germans, like all the Mediterranean pass by there. And I think you can find so many. I find many differences in my friends. They're like one is blonde, one is red hair, another one is so high, another one is very short, and that's crazy. That thing, and also the about the philosophy. I found very interesting that the culture that in Sicily the people have, because it could be there is no halfway, like, or the people are so cultured and interesting to speak with, or they like low basic stuff. There is no halfway. In the north you can find people are more look after more the daily life. There in Sicily I found the people are more interested in philosophy or things that you can go profound and speak with them during the night for a long time. I mean,
Yeah, that's the best part of.
yeah, that's the really best part.
Yeah, I noticed, and obviously it's not the same, but I noticed when I was on Sorrento and talking to the locals out there, just a very different vibe than sort of the Rome folks
Mhm.
and the city folks and the other places we went to. So
Yeah, it's crazy. Also, the dialect. Every dialect is like a different language. So, just to give you an example, when I was 8, I said I moved up north with my family. I still laugh about this. The teachers at the beginning said to my mom that they didn't understand me. Can you guess?
yeah, well, I mean, we have a lot of that in the Anglosphere as well. People from Scotland and Ireland, I don't know what the hell they're saying half the time. So even people from the South in my own country, sometimes they're a little tough to understand. So, and I'm sure they say the same about us, you know, Northerners, us Yankees. So,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, very,
same everywhere at least.
yeah, yeah, very similar. So, okay, why don't I kind of want to get into the process here for one of the things I love talking about with business owners is what their process is for actually making their product and then getting it to market. And obviously, you've started incorporating just recently started this and accepting Bitcoin. And so I won't ask you any sort of financial planning questions or stuff like that, but talk us through for people that don't know, it's sort of the process of harvesting the olive oil, time, start to finish, and sort of a production cycle, if you will.
Yeah. So it's pretty much simple, actually. It's more hard work, actually, instead of it's not complicated. So what I can tell you is that the season to pick is about uh, the end of October, November. So after you pick the olives, you just press them in a cold press machine. The olive oil is extra virgin olive oil. That's it. So it's more looking after the trees during the year. We don't use any chemicals or anything like that. So it's just the way you cut properly the tree in February, so they grows as much as they can. Every year is different because every year they produce more. Some years they produce more. The year after they produce less, and so on. What I can tell you about the production is this. So when you just press it, you have the olive oil. The first 2 months is lightly spicy. On the labels of olive oils in at the market, they just say at least 1 year. Actually, at least even 4 years if it's a good olive oil. Uh, and about the product, I could say that the ideas that came to me, it 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 went really, it blown my mind because at the beginning was, as I say, just selling olive oil in exchange of Bitcoin. But I realized that with the idea I had, I can propose to other small producers like us just to do the same thing. That's all. So it's a way to orange peel them, so green peel them probably is even better this way,
Yeah.
and and at least I could help them. I could, let's say, I don't want to scale with olive oil. I mean, I could buy olive oil and sell, but it's not that the point. I mean, I don't care about doing this, so I don't want to scale in a traditional way. And actually, I didn't plan to scale anyway, but I realized that I have a really great idea in my hands, and so I want to keep doing it with small producers. So after
You
my
talked.
olive oil will run out, you will see that says oil will make note 02, note 03, note 04, and I have already a couple of friends ready and who is willing to start, and that's nice because it can be decentralized. So this could come, the olive oil could come from like everywhere. Obviously, the second node or the third node probably will be in Sicily. It's probably my best friend, and the third probably is another guy from Greece,
Yep.
and so on. I already have another friend in Tuscany who wants to do the same, and but you will see. I cannot spoil it very
No,
much.
I love the concept. And when you were talking to me about different growers, orchards, as nodes in a network where you could have sort of an olive oil network where the, everyone accepts Sats for it. And I I was talking with Eric as well, Eric FJ from Conduit Market, about sort of getting back to this community idea where we decentralize the food systems, we decentralize the farming, et cetera, and then you connect on a personal level with a network of people who aren't beholden to some sort of centralized source of authority. They're not beholden to selling to centralized grocery stores or things like that. And the ability to, I like your framing of it, to put different nodes out there into the network. So yeah, you have a guy in Greece, and olive oil ships well, so that's nice. But you could even see it as, well, now people in Greece, now they have a local community where they have someone they can go to and pay in Bitcoin. And who knows, maybe you get someone out in Santa Barbara or Austin,
Yeah.
Texas or something where they grow olive oil in the US. Now there's a local community there that has a node they can go to get their olive oil and pay in sats and grow this network of really getting back to individuals within the community, and then a community connecting with those people to do commerce, to do trade, and get much higher quality products, knowing where your stuff is sourced, knowing how they grow stuff, knowing how they make stuff. And that just seems like a much better arrangement and a much better world to live in than the insanity of the centralized. And you guys in Europe aren't as bad as we are in the United States. I mean, the centralization of our food here is, I'm sure you've heard about it on lots of Bitcoin podcasts, but it's just horrendous. And there's a reason our food sucks. If you Now you can go to the high end stuff, and we make really great food here in the US. You just got to pay for it. But sort of the mid level, lower level food in the United States, it's just trash. But so
Also, I want to actually explore the book, the Fiat Food. What's the name?
great book. Yeah. By
Yeah,
Matthew Lesiak. Yeah.
yeah. It must be really interesting to understand how everything works through food.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I'm one of the few Bitcoiners who actually went down the food rabbit hole and got into the whole history and the corruption of the sciences and Ansel Keys and all this stuff, and the
The quality of
cheapening.
food is always lower, lower and
Yes,
lower.
because of inflation. And
Yeah.
I wasn't even a Bitcoiner, but I understood that we basically corrupted the food system to make everything cheaper. It took me like 2 or 3 years after I went down that rabbit hole to finally understand Bitcoin. But learning about all that and what it's done to our foods, I mean, these are open documents where you have US government officials explaining the plan, saying we're going to make the food worse, we're going to centralize so we can get the cost down so people don't notice inflation. I mean, it was specifically spelled out. And then you can get into all the corruption of the funding from Kellogg's and from General Mills and these other organizations that basically said meat bad, grains good, sugar good, and basically paid off all these people and commissioned all these studies uh, um, to affirm their findings about sugar being good and meat being bad. And it's just completely insane, but it's all out there. It's all
Yeah,
documented. I mean,
it's all
it's
out there.
yeah,
That's sometimes the life is more fun. How to say the fantasy goes even farther in life than the movies.
yeah. The imagination is
Imagination.
closer to reality than reality. So
It's true.
it's wild, but I definitely highly recommend you read that book. I actually got the opportunity to meet Matthew at the Bitcoin conference in Vegas this year, and a
Uh-uh.
great guy, really nice guy.
I will.
So good man. Definitely read the book.
I will.
So okay, so how many? I know you said you're talking with some other vendors. How long do you think like next harvest season we'll have some more nodes in the network? Or
I think the next nodes will actually be around March, April.
awesome. So,
Yeah,
but you could, because you only harvest once a year, right?
of course.
Or
Yeah, you have
yeah,
you
yeah, okay,
harvest once, but the
yeah,
people sometimes had the olive oil home to stay in there because they couldn't even sell it,
yeah.
or
Oh, so they have some
or
inventory. Yeah,
pardon?
they have some inventory that they might
Yeah,
be willing to sell. Yeah, okay.
yeah. And what I can actually, you know what, and it's not just because selling insets, other nodes, and orange peel them through the olive oil. But it's actually a funny thing that I created that can turn to be also a collectible. That's why I said before, the guy of the cards inspired
Yeah,
me as well.
uh-huh.
And so the I cannot, as I already said, spoil it, but the tins of the olive oil that I sell can be, actually, no, can be, they are a collectible ones. So just When you will open the box, you will realize what the hidden harvest is.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything. All I'll say is they're really cool, and you'll be pleasantly surprised when you get it, and it's definitely a collector's item for sure.
And
So,
actually, just to say something about the nodes, I don't want like every node is the same as the team that I prepared.
of
Actually,
course,
it's nice. Like everyone put their part in it. So like it could be a denominator. Is that fine in English? Yeah, so the
denominator, yeah,
yeah denominator,
yeah.
same denominator. So says oil with the idea, but everyone put their art, their idea, their of something that is
Oh, same
recognizable.
denomination. Yeah,
Same denomination,
there you go. Yeah, yeah.
but you can recognize node 02, node 03, node 04 because they will put their art. It's what I want is to put art in it, not just olive oil, and
Yeah, well,
it's
that's
giving me so many ideas.
of of
That's
of of
amazing.
course. I mean, that's such a fun part of the Bitcoin marketplace and the circular economy too, is you can be creative and you can distinguish yourself as unique. And again, what you're talking about is, yeah, we don't want all these different nodes to be exactly like that's the beauty of the
Yeah.
decentralization, that each one is unique, that you have a special relationship with that individual, that everyone always wants to buy local. It's the same reason you want to go to the old school Chicago steakhouse that's been around for 100 years as opposed to an Outback. Like you want that local unique thing to where you're at. And one, you know the quality is going to be better, but two, it's a unique experience. There's something demoralizing about a chain experience. I can't even describe it. And listen, I have no problem that people can't afford certain things, and so some of these places provide them a better option than they would get otherwise. But there's just something unsatisfying about going into some chain or something I can get here, I can also get there, and
Boring.
I, yeah, it's boring. It's just not exciting, and it's like, okay, great, this is just another thing. There's no excitement or experience about it, and there's no relationship either. You have no. It's just simply a transaction. That's it. It's just, which is fine. That's a big part of commerce is, and why money works is because the people on both sides are indifferent about each other, and they don't care. They just your money's the common
That's why I
language.
said
Yeah.
before, I don't want to scale in a normal, traditional way. I mean, I want to scale, but with the idea and other people surround the idea. So uh,
Well,
that
and
would
that's the
be
great.
fun.
Yeah, I mean that's the great thing about Bitcoin too, is it gives you that option, right? You don't constantly, we talk about that all the time on this podcast. You don't have to grow. You have the option to just get to a level you're comfortable with, have a customer base you're comfortable with, and just that
Be
be your
enough.
work.
Could be
Yes,
enough.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And there's not such an emphasis on constantly having to grow, constantly having to find new avenues, et cetera, because you're not chasing the fiat rat race, and you don't need to. It's not
Yeah, you have to
something you
enjoy
want to
your
do.
time. That's so.
Yeah,
I so agree with this. I so agree.
yeah, the only thing more scarce than Bitcoin is your time, right? So
That's so true.
awesome. Well, trying to think. So how many so actually what is the production of 140 trees? What how many liters would you get out of that? For our
Imagine.
American audience, a liter is roughly a
Im-
quart. So
Imagine that this year was a good year, not the best year for liters of production. Last year was even better. So this year, as I explained you before, it made a little less. And so we had about 300 liters.
okay.
Okay.
So roughly 2 liters a tree ish, somewhere in there,
Pretty
two and a
much.
half. Yeah.
It depends on the age of the
Right. Of
tree,
course. Of
you know.
course. Yeah.
And so this year I put for Sazol like 210 liters. Uh, Number just randomly.
Yeah.
So 210 liters, when they will be over, the Genesis edition will be over. So Node 02 will start. Um, so what I can say is that there is no, it doesn't have to be all the time 210 liters. I mean, my best friend already told me that he has like 30 liters, so probably he just will put 30 liters. That's fine. And then, what else about the quantity? It depends also on much rain during the season, because sometimes it's very, very, very dry down south in Italy. So the problem is really the water. And so, but this year was okay. Last year was crazy, like Sahara. And
Really?
yeah, yeah, man,
Yeah.
that's absolutely crazy. We're actually quite lucky, because in the place where we are, there is water. But if you just go to the village, it's like 6 minutes away.
Oh,
But we in the village where we are, we're actually quite lucky, because the water, it doesn't stop like anytime. But in the closest village, for example, they have the water like for a few hours in a day. They just stop the water for every house to keep the.
the
It's
usage
crazy,
down.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. But I
So
mean,
that just realize how different is Italy from north to south.
oh yeah, completely. Yeah, I did. I mean, it is very dry there. Even in Rome, it's very dry. So,
Mhm.
yeah. All right, Alessandro, we've been going for like an hour 10 here. So, uh, really appreciate the conversation. Anything else you want to talk about? Obviously, we'll tell people where to go to get your stuff, but any other topics you want to address before we sign off here and go enjoy? This is being recorded, by the way, on Christmas Eve for people that don't know. So, really appreciate you coming on. And this was the only time I was going to be able to record for a few weeks here. And so I'm glad it worked out. And what better way to celebrate Christmas Eve than talk about Bitcoin and taste some delicious olive oil, drink an espresso. So,
We made it.
yeah.
Actually, what I can say, the last thing, um, is just all the project around, um, goes around the um, sovereignty, sovereign,
Sovereignty?
uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
sovereignty,
Yeah.
uh, which is the aspect that I probably realized is much more important when you get in Bitcoin, so that your self custody and all these things, I think, just change your mind, the way to you have to protect your stuff. And so I want to show to the one who mm, buy the olive oil, just the seed phrase can be stored in different creative ways that you cannot even imagine if you don't imagine. So obviously not only paper. Obviously, I'm not saying that our teens are the ultimate way to store your seed phrase, but it can give you ideas. It can give you uh, a different way to orange pill also someone. And so enjoy everyone the Christmas time, and that's all.
Well, I
It's
think
been a pleasure for me too to speak with you.
yeah, and another thing, I won't get into it too much, but you have your manifesto that you send with the oil as well, and so which is really cool, and you should order your own bottle of or liters of Sats oil to get yours as well. But along with that, you can olive oil is a great gift, just the best, and nothing will make people in your life happier than giving them some olive oil, telling them you know the individual where that harvested these olives. It's a single orchard. There's only 140 trees and only 210 liters at the market. You're getting one of it. And oh, by the way, or multiple liters. And oh, by the way, as I give you this, here's this manifesto that came with it as well. And right there, people that have never heard about Bitcoin, or maybe you bugged them a couple times about Bitcoin, at the very least, you can go, here's your gift. Merry Christmas or Happy Birthday or whatever. Enjoy it. And also, here's this piece that just came with it. You should just read it to hear what this is all about and why this is so cool. And so, it's
Yeah.
not only are you giving delicious, amazing, small batch, small orchard olive oil, which people just appreciate in general, but on top of that, you're going, what's the ethos behind this? Here's the manifesto. Here's what's really going on here. Here's what proof of work really means.
Could explain it better.
If you can't
So
tell,
thank
I
you.
plan on doing that this Christmas season. So
You're not the only one, actually. Also, a couple of guys in England, they were waiting because it was their gift to their wives. So it arrived in time, fortunately.
nice, nice. Well, hopefully, if their wives needed any extra orange pilling, the manifesto helped out with that. And um, so, all right, Alessandro, before we head out here, where should people find you? Noster, the internet, et cetera, et cetera. Where do you want to point people?
Actually, the only way to find me is on Primals, on Noster, or on X. I don't have any site. I prefer much more Noster, so you can text me also on Telegram or Signal or by email. All the contacts you find on these pages. So I'm all the time available. Just text me. I will usually answer in in a few hours, not anymore. So I'll try to do my best to send you everything as soon as possible. Now we start again, just the beginning of January to 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 to, to stop a little. And also my brother and my father, I don't want to give them nothing to do during this
Got to
time.
keep them busy. And just so people know, it's Sats with an apostrophe. So SAT apostrophe S underscore oil. And actually, I did mean to ask you about that, Alessandro. Is there a reason there's an apostrophe in the Sats, or just some creative? It's the oil of the Sats, or what was the thinking behind
It's
it?
oil of Satoshi,
Okay, got it.
because
So
every
it's
one of us is Satoshi, you know?
yeah, okay. So I like the fact that it's possessive. So I noticed
Yeah,
that,
it
and
is.
yeah, it's not just oil of the, or it's not just Sats oil. It's oil belonging to the Sats, to
Yeah, exactly.
Satoshi. So very
That,
cool.
that was a good question. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, and so it's easier to find you on Nostr there. So Alessandro, thank you so much for joining. As always, this is the Bitcoin Business Podcast put on by Sovereign. You can find Sovereign at Sovereign SOVREIGN .io is the website. We're at Sovereign X on Twitter, X, and whatever you want to call it. And then Sovereign on LinkedIn and Sovereign on Nostr. And I personally, I'm not on Nostr and Plebe Anon on there. So come find me as well if you want to reach out to me directly. So those are all the contact points. Hopefully you wrote all those down and now you have carpal tunnel syndrome. But use one of them to come find both of us on there. So, Alessandro, thank you so much and Merry Christmas, man.
Thank you, Brandon. To you as well. To your
Thank
family.
you.